Alright everybody, welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev Q&A AMA, which is mostly just me stumbling through making my own game, but the intent of this is we come here twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. Idea is I hang out, hopefully if you all have any questions about game dev or Unreal Engine, if I can help or we can stumble through it together, that's what we're doing. The reason we're doing this is I work in games professionally and there's a lot of cool stuff I get to do at work, but there's a whole lot of cool stuff I don't get to do at work. And so this is a chance for me to stumble through all of this stuff, much like anybody else who's starting out with any of these things. Recently, we've been working a lot on AI, and we have converted over to trying to work the Lyra way, just kind of working our way through the Lyra project. I don't really know how I would say that's going so far, but we're going to hop back into it today. I went through, I didn't see any questions in any of the previous live streams. So as always, questions take priority and we are going to just hop right in. This time, I am going to remember to switch over to my actual screen, unlike last time. All right, let's take a quick look here. And looks like our chat is clear. Looks like all of our levels and everything are good to go. All right, so let's take a look at a couple things. There's something that I wanted to show you with this ability tree, behavior tree, if you will. So right now I've taken it down to 2 characters. He gets 2 shots, and he's gonna go up here. He's going to pick up that gun, and all of a sudden he's going to come running over and melee me. But there's kind of a problem with his order of operations, because he picks up the gun, but see how he didn't shoot that time? And now he's just standing there. Now he does a couple melee attacks. So what is it that's going on here? And let me show you. I've been doing some digging, and here's our enemy behavior tree. Fortunately, we only have 1 enemy, so without even looking at the screen, we can kind of go through and in our fight tree for this enemy, you'll notice that, let me kind of pull this up so we can see at the same time what's happening. Let me double check and make sure this is actually coming through properly. Yes. Okay. So in here, you can see he just picked up, all right, you saw what just happened. He just picked up the weapon, and even though he's out of ammo, he shouldn't be out of ammo anymore, right? Because he just picked up the weapon. So for some reason, so he takes a shot, then he goes up here, grabs the gun, but look, the behavior tree goes straight over to our melee section. And for some, I don't know what he's doing over there. Maybe his health is low. We'd have to see which part of the tree he's in. Here we go. Now he comes over and melees again. I don't get this. Well, I do get it. This was kind of confusing as to what's happening, so let's just kind of walk through it a little bit. Basically, in here, when we're out of ammo, we come in, we look for a weapon, we move to the weapon, it picks it up, but look at where our check ammo is. Our check ammo is here within this is a behavior tree service that only checks every 1 second. But there's nothing after we finish this section, there's nothing that causes us to wait for more than a second if we're out of ammo. So what do I mean by that? I mean, like, we come in here, You pick up a gun. And let's say we pick up a gun at time 0. Then what happens is this succeeds, so we start over again. We don't have ammo yet because this check ammo is not actually run yet. All right? Then we come in here and we might be out of ammo, right? But we don't check to see if we have ammo. And then as a result of our out of ammo still hasn't updated because we still haven't checked ammo because this happens instantaneously. Then we are still out of ammo because our check ammo hasn't updated yet. And so now we come back in here and we do the melee instead, even though we have bullets. Well, that's not what we want. So there's a couple things we could do. What we could do is we could have put a wait in here. If we put a wait in here that's 2 seconds, this should guarantee that every time dude picks up a gun, he's going to shoot. So let's make sure he doesn't kill us. Okay, so now he's gonna go pick up a gun. He should shoot. Yep, he shot. But now he doesn't have ammo. And so now he's doing melee attacks, right? Alright, gun's up. It's gonna go pick up the gun. Reload and shoot. Perfect. Okay. Now, but the wait isn't really what we want because that kind of puts like this delay in there. So what I'm thinking is, what if we move check ammo up to the selector? Will that also solve the problem? So let's do that. Okay. So now he's gonna take his 2 shots, or I think that's Quinn, so maybe it's she. Anyways, they're definitely fired on that one. Now coming in for the melee. We need to stay away from the mannequin until the new weapon's up. So they're rolling over to the new weapon, picks up, loads, and shoots. Perfect. So far this seems to be working. Weapon just came up. Let's make sure she shoots again. Yep, right away. And then we're out of ammo, and there are no guns to pick up, so they come in melee. Perfect. I think that works. I think that works. Now, the other thing, I gotta turn this down a little because I can't hear myself think. Okay, so the other thing that I was thinking would be nice is if we could give ourselves the idea of a shield. Well, it turns out it's kind of complicated. So just like a lot of the stuff in this project, it's kind of complicated. So let me walk you down what I was trying to figure out. Basically, if we come in here, we do the GA melee. If we look at melee as an example, melee will come in, do its thing, and wait, where are we? Event graph. Activate ability. Comes through, plays a montage and waits. If we have authority, we do our line trace, and then we apply a gameplay effect, which is our damage melee. Alright, damage melee uses the Lyra health set health, okay? And it sets the min level max level 0, 0. Now, what's interesting, there's a couple things that are interesting. Scalable float magnitude, 100. Okay, so you'll notice that I wasn't dying right away. I set this to 200 when she melees me. I'll die right away. She's gonna take her shot. Go pick up the gun. Take another shot. And then come in and melee me with a win. Hello. Dead. Alright, so why did I have to increase that to 200? Because what happened was, as I was chasing down this rabbit hole of this health set, I was trying to figure out where the initial health value for the characters is coming from. And a lot of times with ability systems, I thought this was all done as attributes so that you could just quickly update and change and do all kinds of stuff. But seemingly, what I found in the Lyra project is it's actually set here in this Lyra health set. And what's interesting is I just thought it would be, I just wanted to try if I changed one of these values, if it would actually work. And it did, in the sense that the character starts off with, it looks like 100, then gets hit, and then the max health is actually 200. So there's some weird things that are going on here. I'm not going to try to do this. Blackpink forever. All right, I guess we're back to this again. All right, so we basically have our health and our max health of 200. Now every time I compile this, it takes forever for it to finish compiling. So basically what I was thinking though was in the damage execution, what we would do is in here, this is where all of the stuff, this is where all the damage happens in code. So it basically comes in, it gets all the parameters, it finds the current health and the base damage, and then it will basically update those based on what the parameters are that come in, and then finds all the impacts, does all the calculations. I was thinking maybe worst case, what we could do is we could change this damage done procedure to subtract off the amount of shield that the character had. But the interesting part of that is this wasn't being done with attributes. So to add a shield, we would have to make some changes to our target tags. So at least from what I can see, the way this is implemented right now, that is the wrong side. This is the one we want. Pop this back over there. Okay, so let's see here. Here's our damage, melee, and there's a broadcast damage. Let's find that damage. Maybe we can add a shield today. So apply gameplay effect. Damage animation. Weapon fire. Grenade. Hero shooter mannequin. Here we go. Report damage event. This is what we're looking for. Okay. So report damage event takes the damage actor, the instigator, damage amount, the event location, and a tag. Now, and this is basically calculated on when the health changes. So it's basically using the old and the new value to figure out what the damage amount is. So one thing we could do is in here, it'd be interesting to see if we come in here even if it's a grenade. Let's try this. Let's put a breakpoint on this. Okay, so that's gonna hit it when we first start because our health is changing to... I got shot by a bullet. Goes up there. I think E is grenade? No. 1 is grenade. I just got meleeed. So melee is definitely coming through here. That's a good test. Which one was a grenade? Alright, we're back at it. We're respawning. There we go. That's a grenade. Wait, did I get hit by a bullet again? Okay, I think that was from the grenade toss. What the heck happened? what is this thing doing? There we go. Event graph. The damage instigator is the Lyra player. Okay, let's see if we can time this right. Oh, geez. I'm not gonna get a chance to do it. I just want to make sure that the grenade damage is coming through here. Okay, so it definitely did it. So the old value is 200. The new value, 95. Let's see here. F10. Old value was 95. The new value is 13. Okay, so this dude should not have very much health left. Kablooey. Okay, so melee, grenades, everything is coming through this health change event. And unbind event from pawn ready initialize nameplate. Alright, well, I'm not gonna worry about that one. What we could do is we could, I mean, and this is kind of a, I don't like this because what we could do is we could basically in here, basically take our old value and our new value. And when we do the subtraction, we could also check to see, does the character have a shield? And if the character has a shield, is it a total shield or is it a damage shield? And then subtract off that difference so that the damage amount gets adjusted before it goes in. What is potentially not cool about that is it's all funneling through here, which is inside our hero default as our parent class, because this is in the shooter mannequin. So that doesn't allow us to do damage in other cases, right? So this is death, ragdoll, update, on death starting event, Animotion. So I think the way I would want to do this is I would want to have shield in code, much like all of the other information is in code. And what we would need to do is we would need to add a bunch of extra information to the report damage. Now, what's interesting is, does report damage come from, where is this defined? Is this a callback? Damage actor, instigator, damage amount. Damage amount. We search through the code for damage amount, and we do find all. So inside our code, what is this function? Damage self-destruct. I'm thinking that's not the one we're looking for. Lyra cheat manager. Okay, so this is if we do self-destruct? So it looks like it's possible that the damage amount might be an engine code, which in that case, let's check the entire solution. Okay, so it's gotta be in our AI sense damage, primitive components, actor, damage amount, instigated cause, or turn. Okay, that's probably not quite what I'm looking for. Apply damage. Damage amount, hit location, impulse direction, impulse strength. Also not what I'm looking for. That's for destructibles. Foliage. Foliage. Instigator damage amount, event location, hit location. Tag. Okay, this is the one. What is this in? This is an AI sense damage. Oh, interesting. So this is part of the AI module. Yeah, what a pain. I don't want to get stuck inside here trying to find all of this stuff during a live stream, simply because I think it will bore you all to death. So let's go back to this. And what is it that we were doing? We had fight. Okay, so basically, here we go. If we have a target, we have ammo, we're gonna shoot. If we don't have ammo, we look for weapons. And if we don't have ammo and we have a target, but we can't find weapons, we're going to go ahead and try to melee. So what might be cool is, rather than, or in addition to, let's make it so that the enemies throw grenades. Yeah, seems reasonable. Check on what's going on with the chat. Okay. Maybe, just like shoot, we should have the ability to throw grenades. Now here's the thing. There's something about the gameplay ability for grenades that prevents me from just throwing them fast. So let's take a look at this. At our gameplay ability for the grenade. In our class defaults, I'm guessing we have some kind of cooldown. Grenade, triggers, cooldowns. Yep, here's our grenade cooldown. So the grenade cooldown is 5 seconds, it looks like. So let's test that. Let's see if we can throw a grenade every 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Yeah, it's about 5 seconds. Okay, so now the question is, Oh, that's awesome. The grenade not only, it's not just timed. If it hits them, it detonates as well. Which, I'm not sure if I'm totally on board with. But that dude just got lit. Okay, cool. So what we need to figure out is, can we execute this grenade event graph? Or we could just let the event graph take care of it. Activate ability, check ability cost, check ability cooldown. So it does it as part of this activate ability. So we can just throw this in. Let's go back to our enemy fight. He shoots, the enemies are shooting every 0.4 seconds. Wow, this could get wild if we do this. So let's do this. BTS melee. Let's browse to this. And let's do, let's just make a new BTS called throw grenade. And in here, we're going to target enemy, cast the actor, get the location, get the distance. Let's only throw the grenade if not less than. Let's go with greater than. We don't want to throw a grenade if we're too close. And so let's say greater than 350. So basically, if we're within melee range, we're not throwing grenades. And if that's true, we're gonna do our ability type rather than action. Let's do grenade. Alright, so theoretically that should work. Compile and save. And then we'll do the grenade all the time. Add a service, throw grenade. And let's only do it every... I mean, we could do it every second, but it has a 5-second cooldown. So we might as well just do this on interval 5 seconds with a 1. Alright, so let's see if the bad guys throw grenades now. He did throw a grenade. However, when he threw the grenade, he did not throw the grenade at me. He threw the grenade at the direction that he was looking. Why is he throwing it that way? Okay. So I think we don't want to put our grenade on this because our facing's not right. We can do it here. Let's see what happens if we do it here. We don't want to do it on our clearing our focus. Oh, interesting. The problem is if we're out of ammo, we clear our focus. Well, let's just see if dude actually throws a grenade at me this time. But he'll only do that if he has bullets, which he no longer has. Okay, so that's not it. That is not all we need. The other thing we need is we need to put it over here, which is kind of weird to put this in 2 places. We may have to rethink how this is laid out, but this should at least get it. So if we are shooting and we have bullets as well as Okay, so right now he shouldn't be throwing grenades. Whoa, why? Okay, so he threw the grenade, but did you see which way he threw it? Not the right way. So there's something going on with how this ability throws grenades. Okay, so grenade spawn and target get spawn rotation has authority. Spawn actor grenade. Okay. This is the throw animation. But it's throwing it not the right way. It should be throwing it based on the direction the character's facing at the time. Interesting. Line trace by channel. Get spawn location. Where are we with this? GA grenade. Inputs. Get Lyra character from actor info. Get Lyra character. Get Lyra player character controller from actor info. Interesting. The problem is I don't know if they have a camera manager. Let's turn on this for duration, draw time 5 seconds. And then let's also change our grenade spawning to be every 1 second for right now, just for testing. Okay, so you saw where the line trace went. So the line trace is going it looks like basically the line trace is happening not even from where the character is. You can see it's going from 0. My guess is this is the 0 location. Yeah. Okay, so the problem is the person throwing the grenade is not a hero. Get Lyra player controller from actor info. I want to know what this is. Get display name. Is this the, for the AI, is this the AI controller? Let's just print this. So when this dude throws a grenade, it's not printing anything. So either this is not valid, and that is why we're getting those errors. Because enemies aren't supposed to be able to throw grenades. Yep, it's bogus. Okay, so the problem is bogus. Alright, what is this function? Get Lyra player controller. Get the camera location. Get the camera rotation. And that's because when I throw a grenade, it is throwing the grenade I need to wait 5 seconds. Yeah, it's using the direction the camera is facing as a vector. So if I throw it high, you can see it throws it high. So that's why this is a problem. So let's see here. First off, I want to know what class this is. When the enemy throws a grenade, there's no valid class. Oh, it's still nothing because it's just not even valid. It doesn't even work. So we're never going to get a class from this. This is the problem. Okay, so we need to find a better way to get camera location, rotation, start trace, breaking the hit result, get Lyra player controller from actor and get the control rotation. That's gonna get Lyra player controller from actor. So get controller. Get Lyra. Get character. Get Lyra character from background info. Oh, get controller. Returns the controller. Cast to Lyra. Player controller. So if that succeeds, we'll do this. If it doesn't succeed, we will try to cast it to an AIPP. Okay, we're gonna have to expand this out. So if it doesn't succeed, then we're going to do this with, we're going to try to cast it to an AI. And if it's an AI, do we have a camera for the AI? We don't. Start and end, location, la-di-da-di-da, get control rotation. If, wait, so see if the hit is greater than 40, is less than 45. Hold on, what are we doing here? We're getting the Lyra character from the act. We're doing a line trace from the camera location. and some offset. And then if it hits something, if the distance is less than 45, we just get the straight rotation. Otherwise, we set the rotation to be all this look at. So I think what we want to do is interesting. Let's try this. This is cool for Lyra characters, for hero, for player controllers. And then if this succeeds, I think what we want to do is basically set the direction here. So let's just put this up here, set the direction, and then it's going to be the location of the hit result. Okay, so let's just do this. Hit rotation. Get control rotation. Get control rotation. We'll set this. We'll clean this up in a second once we know this works. And then we'll do our outs. Guess we can't have more than one of those. So we'll just feed into that like that. So that's the case. Yes, that worked. He's definitely throwing. That looks good. Oh. And mine still works? Yes. Okay, cool. RD, what is going on? How's it going tonight? Making games. We just figured out how to make this dude throw grenades, which is cool. Okay, so now that we know that that's working, let's clean this up a little bit. So we're fine with casting, that's great. And then, let's see, how do we make this pretty? Don't. Pretty's kind of tough here. Let's try this maybe. All the crissy-crossy wires. Gas system. Yes, I would. That sounds great. So RD has a gas system question. I'm hoping I can help, or at least we can stumble through the answer together. For those of you that don't know, gas is the gameplay ability system. It's a beast of a system, isn't it? Okay. Multiple temp variables that is used for the calculation. Are you talking about in like the gameplay effect? Where underneath your calculation modifiers? So RD is saying, what is the best way to have multiple temp variables that is used for calculation? I guess it kind of depends on what the calculation is for. But your calculation modifiers, you can have multiple calculation modifiers. There's also conditional gameplay effects in there too. I think it just depends on what you're trying to do. critical hit chance bonus. Hold on, I gotta think. Critical hit chance bonus. So this person has a gameplay ability that gives them a critical hit chance. And let's say they have a 20% chance. If they make that 20%, you want to apply additional damage based on that. Right? So I would think that if you add another modifier and you set the operator to add, the only thing I can't think of is how you set duration would be instant. Executions is 1. The damage execution is done there. This is base damage source snapshotted. The modifier is added. It's a scalable float using a curve table. Gameplay effects. Chance to apply to target. So I feel like, oh, interesting. Because the problem is your chance to apply to target is for the entire bit, right? It's for everything that happens in the executions. So let's see here. This is our grenade as an example. And here's our GE grenade cooldown. Let's go back to this. Our GE grenade damage. Okay, so right now, our grenade, yeah, basically think of it as a accumulator, that's fine. So basically right now, our grenade has a damage execution. The modifier is additive. Wow, you know, this is actually hurting my head a little bit. Yeah, set the bonus to 0 again. Okay, here's why this is hurting my head a little bit, RD. Because the crit is that a buff that the character has? Or is it an item that gives them a crit on all hits, or is it just with a specific weapon? The chat's a little bit delayed it seems like I'm just staring at the screen. Because a gameplay ability that adds critical hits to all things, it's an attribute that the player has 5% chance of critical. Okay, so that's more like a buff, but it's 5% chance of critical on any hit, right? It doesn't matter if it's a bow and arrow or a pistol. No. There's a wicked delay in the chat. So basically, what I'm saying though is, this particular thing adds the ability to crit to anything that's doing, yeah, exactly, any hit. So so this is why this hurts my head a little bit, because so here we are in our damage modifiers. If I add a new damage modifier in here. Base damage, it's additive. The magnitude would be, oh, you can do it attribute based or custom class. Oh, interesting. Attribute based magnitude. I've never tried to do this before. coefficient, pre-multiply additive value, post-multiply additive value. Yeah, right, but for testing, you increase the chance to 100%. Make sure the calculations are good, that it's actually happening every time, then you drop it back to your 20%. So we could do attribute-based, custom calculation class. That's interesting. Custom magnitude. Calculation class. Ooh, you can make your own calculation class. Which we don't have. I've never even tried to build one, but that's interesting. And but what you don't want to do here is, this would not be an add, it would be a multiply, right? Because you're gonna take whatever the base damage is that's done here, and you're gonna multiply it by 1.05. Right, so can your accumulator be an attribute? And what you're doing is, let's say that you want to basically increase by 5% each time you accumulate. So if I miss, I get 5%. If I miss again, I get 10%. If I miss again, I get 15, like that. Right, but there's gameplay attributes too, right? So if we change this back to an attribute based, coefficient would be I actually haven't tried to implement one of these yet. Okay, cool. So this is fun. I actually haven't tried to do this yet. So let's see here. We have a modifier magnitude and we're multiplying, and it's based on attribute. Our coefficient is 1. And then it's based on a curve table. So let's see here. Let's go take a look at our grenade damage curve table. I want to see something with this. There's nothing in it? Oh, good. Okay. Oh, interesting. So this is basically a fall off curve that I'm pretty sure they're using as a distance-based fall off. Okay, that's fine. So coefficient. Coefficient is 1. What it's going to do is, this may be easier to test with bullets, because the grenade's too hard. So let's just delete this. And let's go to our GA. I believe it's our GA pistol. Weapons, pistol, don't move. Weapon fire pistol, which is going to do, so here's a weapon fire pistol. It's using, those are our costs. That's our activation. GE damage pistol. Okay, so here's our pistol damage. Okay, and then in our pistol damage, when we come back, right now we have base damage. It's additive, it just adds it, and it's a scalable float, and the float magnitude is 18. So right now, if I shoot, let's see here, let's disconnect our AI so they just stand there. This will help for testing. Okay, so from our root, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to disconnect this real quick. And our AI should just stand there. Whoa. Obviously, I did not get that right. How the heck? What? Oh, that's the fight. Okay, here's our enemy. Let's try this. Dude. Somebody explain to me how that's possible. I just disconnected our entire AI. And all I'm gonna do is await here. Now let's do a sequence. And let's just wait. No, let's just wait. Okay. Save. Wow, if you don't actually have it connected, it... Okay, anyways. If I shoot this dude, did you see how it did 18 damage there? Okay, so wait. So that 18 damage is coming from our damage from the pistol. And it's a scalable float that's being multiplied by 18, right? So that's where the 18 is coming from. So what if we add in another calculation modifier? And this one, what we can do is, here's our modifier, base damage. Rather than add, we're gonna make it multiply. And I'm gonna change this 18 to 10 because I wanna be able to do the math a little bit better. And let's take a look at our modifier, scalable float, and let's say 1.05. Okay, so 5% of 10 is hard to figure out. So let's do 10% of 10 just for ease. We're not gonna use a curve table. Let's just see what happens with this now. If we shoot this character, are we doing 11 damage? We are. Look at that. Okay, so now we're doing 11 damage. So what's happening here is we're basically taking our base damage and then we're adding in another calculation modifier that is affecting base damage as a multiplier. It's using a scalable float. So then what we could do is if we change this to attribute based, all right, now if we're doing a coefficient, what we need to do is we need to figure out how to specify the attribute. Look at this. So the ability system component, Lyra combat set base damage. These are all top-down arena attribute set. Okay, these are all attributes that are being defined in code, I'm pretty sure. But basically what I want to do is create an attribute that we're basically adding to, right? The issue for you is randoming. What do you mean randoming it? Because, oh, you mean randoming the amount, like the 5% versus 10% versus 20%? You're saying that the amount it increases would be random per miss? Okay. The hit to be ran. Yes. Okay, so conditional gameplay. Unfortunately, This is on the gameplay effect for damage. Alright, the only other thing I can think of, I understand what you're saying. And basically we run into a problem here where the piece that you want to be random is, you know, you could do it here in this chance to apply to target, basically using this as a percentage. The problem with that is it is going to be for all the damage, not just the crit part. So even if you have damage plus your crit in here, your chance to apply to target being random would mean that the non-crit damage wouldn't work either. So I feel like you need, so I feel like what you need is you need in your damage calculation the ability to check on the critical hit. So you're sort of in a similar situation that I was talking about earlier before you hopped in. So let me show you here in code what I'm talking about. And I know this may not be where you want to be looking, but just as an example, let's see here. Damage execution. Okay, so in the code for this Lyra specifically, it all kind of boils down to this line of code right here, damage done. All right, and what it's doing is it's basically excuse me. It basically does damage done is basically the base damage times the damage attenuation times the physical material times the interaction allowed multiplier, and then it's clamped. All right, now all you have to do is add in a multiplier for your crit. But you have to do this in code is kind of, it really depends. Are you using the Lyra project or are you using your own project? So, as an example, well, I think there's a delay in the chat. It's not your personal project. Okay. So, as an example, when I started the night off, I was thinking we were going to add a shield ability to our characters. But what ended up happening was I realized that the way this project is set up, is the damage and everything isn't done as like attributes that are inside the blueprint editor. It's all done here in code for this damage calculation. And in fact, what we can do is if I put a breakpoint on this when I start the game, all right, we should hit this breakpoint when I do damage to this character. Okay, so I just shot the character. And now we're doing damage. Now, the cool thing here is as we mouse over each of these things, it should tell us the values. So the base damage is 10, right? The attenuation is 1 because it's not distance based. Physical material attenuation is also 1. Our interaction allowed multiplier is 1. And our current health is 200. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to calculate damage done, and the damage done final number is going to be 10. And then what it's going to do is it's going to take the current health and additively subtract off damage done of 10, right? Well, in my case, what I want is I want to have the idea of a shield. And when the shield, so if the character has any ability that grants them a shield, the damage is reduced by amount of shielding. All right. Now, there's two ways for me to do this. Okay. One is I can come in here and encode. I can here. Let me remove this breakpoint because this will help me get to the point. I can come in here and code and change this equation to factor in a shielding, right? Or the which I didn't want to do while we were in the live stream because it's painful, like waiting for recompiles and stuff like that. Or what we can do is inside of, hold on, let me find it. Weapon 5, no. Hold on, let me stop. Okay, there is a broadcast damage, which is let me check here. That's trying to activate the abilities. Nope, this isn't it. It's on the hero, I believe. Shooter. Yeah, report damage. Okay, so you can basically go in full tilt, add in the idea of attributes that are factored into the damage equation in code, depending on how your project is set up. Or you have to find where damage is being passed into the code and intercept it there. It's maybe a little hacky, but you know, depending on again what you're trying to achieve, this function here is a good example. This is our hero default. Okay, every single thing that changes the character's health runs through this function. And we did a test earlier in the stream where if I threw a grenade, if I did a melee, excuse me, if I did a melee, anything I did, it definitely hit this breakpoint. And you can see in here, what there is there's the old value and the new value. And just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, if we put a breakpoint in here and we redo this test, the first time it comes in here, it's coming in here because it's changing the health to be the default set, which should be 200. So the old value is 100, the new value is 200, right? Because it's resetting the health to the max health because I monkeyed with the health values because I wanted to test some stuff. So the first time we come through here, it doesn't count. It's coming through here twice because there's two characters. There's the hero and then there's also the AI, all right? So it's doing all its stuff, it's spawning it, and it probably went through twice also server and client. Now if I come up here and I shoot this dude, all right, it comes through report damage, all right? And in report damage, the old value is 200, the new value is 190, all right? Then what's going to happen if we bring back our code, this is actually interesting to check actually. What should happen is from here on, it's basically going to do all of its stuff and then it's going to report this damage event. All right, and this damage event is going to report a damage amount of, should be 10. 200, 190, yeah, 10. Okay, so when I run this, what should happen is it should hit our breakpoint in code. Okay, it did not, which means the code is actually happening before this. So let's try this again. Oh, look at that. It's actually different. Oh, dude. So the code is calculating the damage done. Then it's sending out the information. And then I'm hitting this breakpoint. Because this is where the report damage to AI happens. Wild. Okay, this makes this tricky. Because the code happens first and then this is all being reported, what you would have to make sure is if you intercept here, right? But what I'm saying though is if you intercept it here, you're intercepting it after the code has already executed. And what values are being set in this code? It's actually changing the health attribute in code here. And so all this might be doing is, it's interesting. We'd have to run this through. Yeah, we'd have to run this through. Intercepting it here may not help you, because if you do change it here on according to the server or the actual stuff, this health attribute may still be interesting. Let's try that. Let's try it. Let's just subtract off 5 for kicks. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this. Just to better understand how this is working, if I just do a -5. Okay, here's what I want to know. When I run this, I'm not gonna worry about this breakpoint now, because it's gonna show me, it's visual now, alright? When I come up and I shoot this dude, it's 10 damage, but I can't see. Oh, we need to flip this. Okay, let's change this. Let's go back to the test I need is this one here. We're gonna go root inside fight. This is our shoot. Set focus. Let's just copy this. And in here, let's paste it in here. We're going to do this. Let's just kill these. Set our focus. We're not going to move. We're just going to wait. Will this dude shoot me now? Yes. But he doesn't have bullets. I don't have a way that I know of to see the AI's health. Oh, let's give him. Oh, alright, I know how to do this. I got a different way to do this. Pistol. Let's find our pistol. And give our. I gave everybody 1 bullet because I was testing something else earlier. I was testing whether they would go pick up the weapons and whether that refilled their ammo. E-pistol. This net priority. Weapon fire. I gotta find where the I don't really have a planned topic. This is exactly what this is for, RD. We hang out, we answer questions, we stumble through stuff together. If nobody's here, then yes, I'll just keep working on my stuff. But if people are here, then I'm happy to stumble through this stuff together. So it's totally good. Here's our pistol. Magazine size. Magazine ammo. Let's do 100 bullets. Spare ammo, 100 bullets. Okay, so now this dude should shoot every half second. Wow, this dude is crazy. Okay. Okay, but he's shooting so fast I can't see anything. So let's go back here and let's go shoot every. Let's do a shoot every 2 seconds with no deviation. I think what I'm trying to do best done with actually meta attribute data that only live in the server, so I can save the critical chance bonus to reuse it in an up. Yes, basically. Okay, so this dude's just shooting. every second. So right now I have 100 health, but I don't really have 200 health. Okay, so he shot me once, and my health went down to 180. Shot me a second time, and went down to 160. So it's going down 20 each time. So what did we do with our... Oh, we did that in the damage calculation. Where was that? That was in our modified. Yeah, see, it's not changing it. I think on the server, what is happening is how's it doing 20 damage? Doesn't make any sense at all. Did we leave that thing on? Weapon, fire, pistol. GE damage, grenade, no GE damage, pistol. Attribute days. 1. Let's delete this out. I thought we set that to 10. So he's doing 10. What? Okay. I don't know why the enemy is doing a different amount of damage than the hero with the same pistol. What is going on? Either way, I feel like what you're talking about is the exact same thing that I was having to deal with shields. And I think I have to update this calculation to understand and include the idea of a shield thing. Now, I vaguely remember the engineers at work doing something like this. They'll add in these attributes and stuff like that. So I don't think we're that far off base. What I'm trying to think of is, is there a way to have a variable modifier? In other words, maybe it's not just critical chance. Maybe it's critical chance plus RD's damage bonus. That way you're not constantly having to update the server or the code equation. And it basically takes... You found one in gas shooter. What do you mean you found one in gas shooter? Which project's that in? Maybe that's a different project. I don't think there's one in here. Yeah, there's no shield in here. Oh, the gas shooter example project. Okay. I'll check that out and see what they're doing for the shield. Is the shield amount in code? Let me see if I can find that project. Anyways, what I was trying to think of though is whether it's shield or, yeah, see, it's in code, right? This is why sometimes I'm blown away. I mean, this stuff is not. Yeah, exactly. This stuff is not super straightforward. I mean, not any random person is. You have to have some coding experience to do some of these things. But to finish my thought, what I was trying to figure out is whether it be shield or crit strike or whatever it is, is there a way so that you don't have to keep updating that damage exec calc to add in all the new things you want? And I'm wondering if the way to do it is in this code, right? What you do is, rather than having base damage, distance, attenuation, etc., you define an array. Let's just call it an array for right now. However you want to do it. Lily Storm 9, hello, how are you doing? So in your exec calculation, rather than doing this base damage, distance, attenuation, whatever, you have an array of all the things that it could potentially apply, and this damage calculation thing basically goes through the array of all the attributes, which is defined maybe in your character somewhere. You see what I'm saying here, RD? Lily Storm's asking, are we using Unreal 5 or 4? We were on 4 and we switched to 5 a couple months ago. So right now we're in 5. Dude, I know, RD, that what I'm talking about with that array, it potentially makes this more complicated than some of the examples we've seen. But I'm just thinking how to not have to go to code every time you want to add in a shield or a damage buff or whatever the heck it is. I have not tried that yet, but as I'm looking at this, I think I might want to. Because I know, for example, I'm going to add critical strike. So Lily is excited that we're using Unreal 5 because they need some help with a 3D top-down RPG in Unreal using only free and paid assets. Well, I mean, you can totally do that. Okay, so RD is saying yes, the issue is every time it calculates damage, it disregards all the old time you did. I think what you mean is... Okay, so look at health as an example, right? Your health is an attribute that's defined on the character that carries through time. It's adjusted through time. Lily Storm, I'll respond in a second. So much like your health is tracked over time, it goes up and down depending on whether you heal or not. It's adjusted by gameplay things, right? All you need to do is create one for crit strike. You need to create an attribute like health for crit strike, right? And then that will go up and down based on how you calculate it, based on your gameplay. So Lily wants to make this top-down RPG, but don't know how to code except auto hotkey scripts. Well, I mean, that's a start. So RD, that's where I would start, right? And that's exactly where I'm going to start with the shield attribute. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it here because I'm probably not going to do it on the live stream because, I mean, most, watching somebody stumble through code in a live stream is super exciting stuff, right? So Lily Storm, you don't know how to code except for auto hotkey scripting. Have you started your blueprint journey? Are you at all? Are you? It uses C++, and so Lily Storm is asking what language does Unreal Engine even use? So it uses C++, but it uses Blueprint, which is a visual scripting. And I think I would recommend trying one of the tutorials out, right? I think that will help a lot, give you a better view of what's going on. One of the ones that I like a lot to help you with not only the visual blueprint scripting as well as the C++ is the old twin stick shooter tutorial. Okay. So, I mean, that armor's got to be, the way they're doing the armor, I haven't looked at it, it's got to be the same as the other stuff. So I'll check that out. That would be, that might be perfect for me. Thank you for pointing that out. So anyways, Lily Storm, what I would do is I would check out, like, for example, the twin stick shooter, because they do a good job of explaining without going into hardcore C++ what all the kind of fundamental parts of it are. They'll even walk you through line by line, writing little bits of code and everything like that. So I would probably start there. Is that actually RD? Is that gas shooter example? Is that in UE4 or is it online? I'll have to look that up. Gas shooter, Unreal, Tranic gas shooter. Advanced first person. You're talking about the Tranic one? Yeah, I think it's the Tranic one. Yeah, so I actually keep the Tranic docs open as like my go-to read. It's like one of the docs, because the way that it's broken down is really well done. I'm trying to see. This is show damage. No, I'm looking through this. Add the damage number. I gotta find which procedure this character base. I'll have to find where it is. That's perfect. Thanks, RD. Exactly. Holy cow, I have not looked for it. Lily is asking for a link to the twin stick shooter. Let me see if I can find it. I have not looked.
The new best way to make money online that nobody's talking about is something you've never heard of before. It's using
looks like
Audible.
my camera
so
just
these right
died.
here
I
are
am still here.
real paychecks from Audible. They're not mine, they're my wife's because...
Hello, it's February 2022. This viewport, this is...
Okay, that's not... Oh, it looks like they may have moved it. I'm gonna have to take a look. Videos. moves, because I think they moved these all into the Learning Center in Unreal. Yeah, I'm not sure where they moved it to. You know what I'll have to do is, here's what I'll do, Lily, because we're actually super far over time at this point. I need to find where they moved it to. Because they moved a lot of their tutorials into a learning center, and I'm not sure if all of them are all still online. But I'll see if I can track it down for you, and then what I'll do is I will post it in the comments for this live stream so that you can access this, access it there. And as a result of the fact that it is super late, I think it's time to kind of do a quick wrap up. So RD, Lily, everybody, thanks for hopping in. It was actually really cool to have questions and kind of stumble through some of this stuff together. Thanks for the tip on the armor example as well. And then I'm gonna actually exit my project and not save a thing because I can't even remember what I was doing before we started down some of these fun questions, which was cool. So again, I'm here every Sunday night and Wednesday mornings, and this is exactly why we're here, so we can try to stumble through some of this fun stuff together, and hopefully the learnings go both ways. So thanks for hopping in, and I will hopefully see some of you all on Wednesday. Otherwise, good luck with all your own game dev and everything like that. Have a great night.